I'm Richard Schertzer from the Nocturnal, and I have Claudia Zevallos with me. So Miss, where are you from and where'd you grow up?
So I am originally from Arequipa, Peru, and I grew up in Arequipa, Peru. I was raised by my grandparents because I'm sorry, my parents got divorced when I was 5 months old. So my mom became a single mom, and she has literally been working nonstop ever since she was 17 years old. So yeah, I was the only little one at home with my grandparents and my aunt Lulu.
Okay. So how did you get started in the business of acting?
Well, what happened was, as I'm telling you, I grew up and I was raised by my grandparents. So there was always an extra hour that I was left by myself when I was 5 years old because I was put to school really early. So I would stay home by myself. And then I was watching this soap opera with Victoria Rufo back then. And I would literally run to the bathroom and then do my makeup, I would put on these head rollers that they were my aunts, and I would memorize the entire scene, right? The entire scenes that were in between commercials. And I would run to the bathroom, and I knew I was Victoria Rufo. And the mirror was Jose Antonio. There was no doubt in my mind. So when I would finish doing my scenes, I would come back and keep watching the novela because I thought I need to keep learning my lines. So that's what happened when I was 5 years old. And then out of an accident, I was here on vacation visiting my aunts and my cousins. And this lady happened to come up to me as I was walking into a store in the Century City Mall. And she asked me if I was some type of like a hair jewelry kind of model. And then I said, no, I'm not. Oh, well, here's my card. If you are ever interested, just give me a call. I thought, okay. And then I remember coming home that night. And then I thought, like, what happened to my dreams that I used to have when I was 5 years old? I had been so busy going to school, um, taking care of my grandparents until they passed away, and just very busy helping them all the time. And that's when I just went back home to Peru and really asked myself, because my grandparents ran two businesses back in Peru. And so I know what it takes to run a business. At least that's what I would like to think of what I learned from them. And I asked myself if I really wanted to do this. And I said, yes, this is my dream. This is the dream that it's literally been sleeping within because I've been so busy being a granddaughter, a daughter, and a caretaker also for my grandparents. So I came back and I decided to give it a shot. And I happened to, out of a complete accident, bump into the former showrunner for Telemundo. And it was one afternoon when he needed an assistant. And I didn't know, Richard, by whom I was getting interviewed. All I remember was just rushing from Simi Valley and then driving to Burbank. And then I literally just put on my shoes in the car and I ran into the office and like literally put myself back together. And before I walked into his office, I just went like this, Diosito, por favor, ayúdame. And so I walked in and I could tell he was very busy. And he was like, okay, so tell me about yourself. But he was still uh, multitasking. And so I could see what he was trying to do and for what he was trying to reach. And so I wasn't just sitting, I was actually handing him stuff while I was getting interviewed. And anyway, so this gentleman, he hired me on the spot, and his name is Harry. Abraham Castillo. So he gave me my first opportunity, and I learned a lot from him. And that's when I started going to the Lee Strasberg Institute and booking commercials. And now I'm sitting here talking to you, and it's unbelievable.
Tell us more about the film A Snowy Day in Oakland and your character.
Okay, so A Snowy Day in Oakland, it's a magical comedy. It's an urban magical comedy, and it's all about hope, desires, dreams. And I mean, I really think people are going to feel inspired, hopeful, happy, and heard because this is a black and brown movie.
Mm.
So I, as a Latina, I felt so heard as we were on set with Tony. I felt so heard, and people are going to be laughing out loud while you watch the movie.
So what about you? What about your character? Like, who do you play in the film?
Okay, so my character's name is Angelica Salgado, and she is a young Latina who is a hard worker.
Hmm.
She is soñadora total. She's a complete dreamer. She is very loving. She loves her community, adores her father, and daily she values so much all these sacrifices her parents made to bring her to America so she can have her dreams come true. That's who Angelica is. And you know what? I have been asked so many times, how is it that you prepared for the role? And I actually ask myself, how is it that this role came to my hands? Because this is actually how we Latinos are. We're hard workers, we're passionate, we're soñadores, we're dreamers. We want to be heard because we also contribute to everything that's going on. And as I was developing this character, as we were developing it with Tony on set, we wouldn't even talk to each other anymore. We would just give each other the Latino eye, as in, ¿puedes creerlo? Can you believe it? Because the writer is just so in tuned. Yes, he's African American and he is Mr. Kim Bass. He has created Sister Sister, Keenan and Kel. He's an African American writer director, but he's so connected and in tune with the Latino culture. It's unbelievable, and we were just so grateful. I was so grateful.
Okay, so do you have any upcoming projects that you want to talk about?
Well, I'll tell you what's in development,
Okay.
and it's called A Lawyer, the Devil, Three Priests, and a Nun. And I play the nun. So that's in development. And
Yeah.
I can only say, I guess I'm going to say right here with you, I hope it's another roller coaster because these roller coasters have really been working out for me. So I just I just hope it gets put together because the character is really it's it really owns the Latin culture, and it speaks volumes of what we need and how we need to be heard right now.
So, as an actress, what do you enjoy most about your work?
Being with people, being able to connect with them. That's what I enjoy the most. Be People, actors who are so open and kind, for example, like Tony and Loretta Devine, who is just a force of a woman. And not only is she charismatic, but she is just so giving. And Kimberly Elise and Arden Marin. It's just not to also learn, but to be able to connect with them And to be able to reach into people's hearts is an unbelievable thing to me. That's what I feel.
That that's powerful. Nah, I'm not even joking. It is. But what is your dream acting role that you always wanted to acquire in your career?
I want to be able to play an astronaut. That's my dream. I want to be able to play an astronaut. I love everything that um, goes on with science and the universe. Is just, it's so endless and so magical and so giving and so powerful to me that that's my dream role, to be able to go into space.
Int- Interesting. Hmm. So, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
In the next 5 to 10 years, well, I really hope Richard wants to interview me again.
I would really like that. As an update, I would like that to do that. Yes.
Thank you so much. You're so kind. Oh my God, I can't believe you waited for me. You're so cute. Just so nice. Um, where? You know what? There's this charity foundation that I have in mind.
Mm-hmm.
It came to my mind, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, literally was while I was washing my face. And how did that come about? Was because my aunt, who was like my second mom, my Aunt Lulu, she passed away from complications of COVID. So she never got married nor had any children. I was like her child. So when she passed away, she was in a rehab center. And you know how the whole COVID thing went? We weren't allowed to go in. So I would go every day outside of her window, and that's how I would be with her. The nurses with whom I made friends inside the center, they would open the window for me literally an inch, and I would put my phone on and then just pull up Oscar de Leon, Llorarás, and I would stand there an hour, 2 hours, and just put it on repeat, and I would just be dancing salsa so she could just watch me. I don't know if she ever really saw me, but I know she felt me, and that was more than enough for me. So when I was in the bathroom at 3 o'clock in the morning, I thought, I have to create a foundation where I already have the name, and I'll tell you, because I already got it reserved and everything. It's called Lulu Love, LULULUV. And it's a charity about people who don't have family, who've never had kids, nor gotten married. Nobody goes and visits them anymore, but they get, it's like a world to them when somebody just smiles, or even when they get their food taken it for lunch or dinner. They just the thought of them seeing somebody coming into the room, I've seen their faces. It's like as if they get a little bit more life, even though they're just lying there in their beds. And I thought, I want to be friends with all those people. That's what I thought. And I'm kind of getting emotional about it. So
No, that's fun.
that's where 5 years from now, I hope my foundation grows.